Have you ever started your morning feeling unusually tired, bloated, or strangely thirsty, even though you thought you were eating a healthy breakfast? You are not alone. Millions of Americans over 60 wake up every day believing they are doing the right thing for their bodies, yet without realizing it, they are quietly putting their kidneys under intense stress before the sun has fully risen. And here is the part that most people never hear from their doctors until it is too late: some of the most common breakfast foods in American kitchens. Foods you trust, foods you have eaten for years, may be accelerating kidney decline faster than age itself. I am Dr. Richard Hale, and today I need to warn you about something serious, something urgent, something that has affected far more seniors than heartburn, high blood pressure, or even diabetes. Because the truth is, kidney damage rarely begins with dramatic symptoms. It begins with tiny, silent mistakes made at the breakfast table. Small choices that seem harmless. A bowl of something crunchy, a glass of something sweet, a sip of something creamy. Little rituals that feel comforting, but may be silently raising your blood pressure, spiking your phosphorus levels, overloading your filtration system, and pushing your kidneys closer to exhaustion. But here's the good news you absolutely need to hear. Once you understand the 5 hidden triggers I'm about to reveal, you can protect your kidneys with simple replacements that are just as satisfying, far safer, and surprisingly easy to adopt. And as we walk through each one, I will show you how these everyday foods affect your kidneys in real time, and how just one small morning change can completely shift your energy, your hydration, your blood pressure, and your long-term kidney health. Because the danger is real, but so is the solution, and it starts right now. The first hidden trap sitting quietly on the average American breakfast table is processed cereal, the kind that looks innocent, comforting, maybe even healthy at first glance. And I want you to picture this for a moment. A few months ago, I met a patient named Linda, a 67-year-old grandmother from Arizona. She told me she started every morning with a bowl of cereal because it was convenient and felt light. Yet she kept waking up exhausted, swollen around the eyes, and desperately thirsty by mid-morning. She thought it was aging. She thought it was dehydration. She never imagined her so-called healthy breakfast was quietly overloading her kidneys from the moment she opened the box. Here's the truth most people never learn. Many boxed cereals contain a dangerous combination of added sodium, hidden phosphorus additives, and fast-absorbing sugars that push the kidneys into overdrive before the day even begins. And the scariest part, these additives absorb almost instantly. Research from the National Kidney Foundation shows that phosphorus from processed foods is absorbed up to 90% faster than the phosphorus found naturally in whole grains. That means your kidneys face a sudden chemical surge they were never designed to handle, forcing them to filter harder, faster, and under higher pressure than they should. It is like waking up your kidneys with a shock instead of a gentle start. Sugar is another troublemaker hiding in that crunchy bowl. A single cup of many cereals contains 10 to 12 grams of sugar, causing blood glucose to spike quickly. And when glucose spikes, insulin rises, and high insulin tells the kidneys to retain sodium. That's why so many seniors feel unusually thirsty after eating cereal. Their body is desperately trying to correct the imbalance created by too much sugar, too much sodium, and too much phosphorus hitting the system all at once. And if you've ever felt sleepy or bloated right after breakfast, you've already felt this chain reaction happening inside your own body. But the good news is that replacing just this one habit can create a dramatic shift in how your kidneys feel and function. Choosing whole rolled oats or steel-cut oats gives you slow, steady carbohydrates that support your blood sugar, not spike it. Adding cinnamon helps stabilize glucose naturally. Adding blueberries or chia seeds gives you antioxidants and fiber that protect kidney tissue from oxidative stress without adding sodium or phosphorus. Even something as simple as soaking oats overnight in unsweetened almond milk can turn your breakfast into a gentle, kidney-friendly ritual instead of a daily shock to your filtration system. And as you listen to this, be honest with yourself. Have you ever relied on cereal because it felt quick, easy, or harmless? If so, you're not alone. Many people watching right now have made this exact mistake without realizing it. Tell me in the comments if cereal has ever been part of your routine. I read every story because it helps me understand what you're going through. But understanding cereal is only the beginning, because the next breakfast choice is far more dangerous, far more common, and hits your kidneys with a completely different kind of stress. But only knowing this is not enough because there is another factor waiting ahead, and most people never see it coming. After understanding how something as simple as cereal can quietly shock your kidneys every morning, we need to talk about a second culprit that is even more deceptive because unlike cereal, this one smells incredible, feels comforting, and has been a morning tradition in American homes for generations. I am talking about bacon and breakfast sausage. And before you think, but I only eat a little, let me tell you about Robert, a 71-year-old retired engineer from Ohio who swore he ate just 3 small strips a few times a week. Yet every morning he woke up with swollen fingers, stiffness in his lower back, and a kind of thirst that never quite went away. He thought it was arthritis. He thought it was aging. He never imagined it was his breakfast. Here's why bacon and sausage are far more dangerous than most people realize. Just 3 strips of bacon can deliver 500 to 700 milligrams of sodium, and that's before adding anything else to your plate. Sodium attracts water, thickens your blood, raises your blood pressure, and forces your kidneys to filter faster under higher tension. Over time, that pressure damages the delicate glomeruli, the tiny filters that keep your blood clean. And if you felt bloating, tight rings, or a pounding pulse after a salty breakfast, that's your kidneys desperately trying to keep up. But sodium is only the surface of the problem. Most processed breakfast meats contain around 250 milligrams of phosphorus preservatives per serving, and this type of phosphorus is absorbed dramatically faster than natural phosphorus in whole foods. Johns Hopkins research has linked these additives to oxidative stress inside the kidneys, weakening filtration efficiency and accelerating hypertension, the perfect storm for long-term kidney decline. And if you think that's bad, the nitrates and nitrites used to preserve color and flavor create compounds that harm blood vessel walls and reduce oxygen delivery to kidney tissue. It's a chain reaction that leaves your kidneys inflamed, overworked, and exhausted long before lunch. So what can you do instead? The solution is surprisingly simple. Egg whites give you clean, high-quality protein without the phosphorus and preservatives. Plain Greek yogurt supports your gut microbiome, which helps reduce systemic inflammation that affects the kidneys. Unsalted turkey slices and plant-based options like tofu scramble offer protein without the sodium bomb or the chemical additives. Even adding a teaspoon of olive oil and a sprinkle of turmeric can turn tofu into a flavorful, kidney-friendly breakfast that energizes your morning instead of draining it. Now let me ask you something directly. Have you ever finished a salty breakfast and felt unexpectedly thirsty or noticed swelling in your fingers afterward? If that has ever happened to you, tell me in the comments. I promise I read every single one because your stories matter. And here's the part that makes this conversation even more urgent. Bacon and sausage are dangerous, yes, but they're not the most surprising morning habit harming your kidneys. There is a popular breakfast drink that millions of Americans believe is healthy, but it can push your potassium levels to a dangerous spike in just 1 glass. But only knowing this is not enough because there is another factor waiting ahead, and most people never see it coming. After understanding why salty breakfast meats can quietly push your kidneys into survival mode, we need to shift our focus to something that feels even more harmless, and in many homes almost sacred. A drink that looks bright, refreshing, and packed with vitamins. But for millions of Americans over 60, it delivers a potassium surge strong enough to overwhelm weakened kidneys in a matter of minutes. And that drink is your morning orange juice. Let me tell you about Sandra, a 64-year-old retired teacher from Florida. She told me she started every day with an 8-ounce glass of orange juice because she believed it helped her wake up healthy. Yet she kept experiencing muscle weakness, sudden fatigue, and heart flutters that came and went without warning. She blamed stress, then age, then anemia. But when we looked closer, we realized her kidneys were struggling, and the very drink she trusted was silently making everything worse. Here's the scientific truth. 1 8-ounce glass of orange juice contains around 450 milligrams of potassium. For healthy adults, that may not sound dangerous. But when kidneys are even slightly weakened, something incredibly common after age 60, that potassium spike becomes a serious risk. The kidneys are responsible for keeping potassium balanced in the blood, and when they cannot filter efficiently, potassium builds up rapidly. This condition, called hyperkalemia, can trigger irregular heartbeat, muscle weakness, numbness, and in severe cases, cardiac complications. Many seniors never connect these symptoms to their breakfast drink. But potassium isn't the only problem. Orange juice contains high levels of fructose, and Harvard research has shown that excessive fructose raises uric acid, which forms sharp crystals in the kidneys and joints. These crystals inflame kidney tissue, reduce filtration, strength, and dramatically increase the risk of kidney stones and gout. And most commercial juices add preservatives like potassium citrate or potassium ascorbate, which push total potassium even higher than what the label suggests. It's a triple hit. Your kidneys never asked for potassium, overload, uric acid formation, and chemical additives that amplify the strain. But there are safer, smarter options that protect your kidneys without giving up flavor. Diluting apple juice with equal parts water cuts its potassium load in half while keeping it pleasantly sweet. Smoothies made from berries, blueberries, strawberries, cranberries provide antioxidants that protect urinary tract health and reduce inflammation without overwhelming your potassium levels. Even a simple berry cooler made from frozen berries, water, and chia seeds can boost hydration and support digestion in a way your kidneys appreciate. So let me ask you, honestly, have you ever noticed feeling strangely tired or weak after drinking fruit juice in the morning? Have you ever felt your heart racing or your muscles tightening for no clear reason? If so, share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone else catch a warning sign early. But orange juice is only part of the hidden danger in the modern American morning. Because the real threat isn't always in what you drink, it's often in what you add to your coffee without thinking twice. But only knowing this is not enough because there is another factor waiting ahead. And most people never see it coming. If orange juice can hit your kidneys with a sudden potassium surge, then flavored coffee creamers deliver a different kind of danger, one that doesn't feel sharp or immediate, but slowly builds up morning after morning until your kidneys are quietly overwhelmed. And this one is especially tricky because it hides inside a ritual. So many Americans love that first warm, comforting cup of coffee. The flavor, the aroma, the sweetness, it feels harmless, almost soothing. But for millions of seniors, what they pour into their mug is far more damaging than the coffee itself. Let me share the story of Thomas, a 69-year-old Vietnam veteran from Texas. He told me, "Doc, I don't drink soda. I don't eat junk food. I only have 2 cups of coffee with creamer every morning." Yet his legs kept swelling, his blood pressure swung unpredictably, and his blood tests showed early signs of kidney strain. He couldn't understand it, but when we reviewed his diet, the culprit was hiding in plain sight: the flavored creamer he added to his coffee twice a day, every day, for over a decade. Here's the part few people realize. Most non-dairy flavored creamers are loaded with phosphate additives that absorb almost instantly into the bloodstream, far faster than natural phosphorus in whole foods. The Cleveland Clinic has shown that people who consume high levels of phosphorus additives experience a faster decline in kidney function, especially if they already have mild stress on their filtration system. When phosphorus spikes, your body pulls calcium out of your bones to rebalance itself. And that calcium phosphate mix travels straight through your kidneys, scraping and straining delicate filters along the way. But it doesn't stop there. Many creamers contain trans fats, artificial oils designed to stay solid and shelf-stable. Trans fats inflame blood vessels and restrict circulation, which means less oxygen reaching your kidneys and more pressure on the tiny nephrons working inside them. Add in artificial sweeteners like sucralose, which disrupt your gut microbiome and send inflammatory signals throughout your body, and you have a daily cocktail that chips away at kidney function one sip at a time. So what's the solution? You don't have to give up coffee, just give up the chemical creamers. Unsweetened almond milk, oat milk, or even a splash of real half and half used sparingly is far less harmful than phosphate-loaded creamers. Many seniors also love adding a pinch of cinnamon or a drop of vanilla extract for natural sweetness without the kidney strain. And if you want ultimate control, homemade almond milk, just almonds, water, and a blender gives you creaminess without a single harmful additive. Now be honest with me for a moment. Have you ever felt swollen fingers or tight shoes after a morning fueled by multiple cups of coffee with creamer? If that sounds familiar, tell me in the comments. Your experience might help someone else see what they've been missing. But as damaging as creamers can be, they aren't the final twist of the morning puzzle. Because there's one more so-called healthy habit that creates a crystal-forming storm inside your kidneys far more quickly than most people imagine. But only knowing this is not enough because there is another factor waiting ahead, and most people never see it coming. If flavored coffee creamers slowly wear your kidneys down over time, then this next breakfast habit hits them with a sharper, more aggressive force, one that creates real physical crystals inside your kidneys, often without a single warning sign until the damage is already done. And the surprise here is that it comes from a food most people proudly call healthy. I'm talking about spinach smoothies, the green drink that looks innocent, vibrant, and nutrient-packed. But for many seniors, it's one of the fastest ways to overload your kidneys with oxalates. Let me tell you about Michael, a 62-year-old former firefighter from Colorado. He told me he blended spinach every morning for nearly 2 years because he wanted to stay strong after retirement. Yet he kept battling lower back pain, sudden bouts of nausea and stabbing discomfort he couldn't explain. He thought it was his spine. He thought it was dehydration. But when scans were done, the truth came out. Calcium oxalate crystals were forming inside his kidneys. And the primary source was the smoothie he thought was protecting him. Here's the science behind why this happens. 1 cup of raw spinach contains around 750 milligrams of oxalates compounds that naturally bind to calcium inside your body. When oxalates and calcium meet, they form tiny razor-sharp crystals. And when you blend spinach raw, those oxalates become even more bioavailable, meaning your kidneys face a fast, concentrated hit they struggle to flush out. The Mayo Clinic warns that frequent spinach smoothie consumption significantly increases the risk of kidney stones and inflammation, especially in people with even mild filtration issues. The danger multiplies when spinach is blended with high vitamin C fruits like oranges, pineapples, or mangoes. Excess vitamin C converts directly into more oxalate. That means a single smoothie can double or even triple the oxalate load in one sitting. And as urinary acidity rises, the kidneys lose their ability to wash out these crystals before they grow. Most seniors don't feel anything at first, but slowly those crystals collect scratch and inflame the nephrons, reducing kidney efficiency day by day. But here's the good news: you can still enjoy a green smoothie without punishing your kidneys. Low oxalate greens like kale romaine and arugula contain 10 times less oxalate than spinach, but still provide magnesium, vitamin K, and chlorophyll that support liver and kidney function. Steaming greens before blending can reduce oxalates by up to 70%, turning a harmful habit into a safe and nourishing one. A simple recipe: steamed kale, unsweetened almond milk, half a banana, and a spoonful of flax seeds gives you smooth energy without the kidney strain. So let me ask you this directly. Have you ever had unexplained lower back pain, nausea, or discomfort after drinking green smoothies? If you have, leave a comment below. I want to hear your experience because it may help someone else catch the problem early. But even though this green smoothie mistake is incredibly common, it's still not the final piece of the morning puzzle. Because there's one last habit that doesn't involve food at all, and yet it may be the most powerful kidney saver you'll ever learn. But only knowing this is not enough because there is another factor waiting ahead, and most people never see it coming. You've just learned the 5 breakfast habits that quietly put enormous pressure on your kidneys, and if you're still here with me, it tells me something important about you. It tells me that you care about your health, you care about your future, and you're willing to make simple changes today to protect the kidneys that work for you every second of your life. And I want you to hear this clearly. You are not behind, you are not too late, and every step you take, no matter how small, moves you toward a healthier, stronger morning routine that your kidneys will thank you for. If any part of today's video opened your eyes or helped you understand your body better, do yourself a favor and save this video so you can come back to it whenever you need guidance. And if you want to stay ahead of kidney problems, blood pressure issues, dangerous medications, and hidden food traps that most people never learn about, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications. I share practical science-based kidney tips every week, and I want you to have access to every single one because the right information at the right moment can change the entire direction of your health. Your kidneys may have been struggling quietly for years, but starting today, you have the power to give them the support they've been waiting for. And no matter where you are on your journey, whether you're dealing with swelling, fatigue, high creatinine, or you simply want to stay healthy, you are never alone. You are part of a community of people fighting for better mornings, stronger bodies, and longer lives. So take a deep breath, believe in your ability to improve, and remember, healing doesn't require perfection. It only requires consistency, and your healthiest days can still be ahead of you.